From Syngenta's perspective, how big of an issue is this?
It's a very big issue for Syngenta. We have an ambition to change the productivity of the farm and make a meaningful step change in a sustainable way. So that's sort of the core of all the hard work we put into helping farmers grow more, that the end result could be much more meaningful for quality of life, not just to agricultural consumers, but consumers at large.
Right. And from a crop protection standpoint, there's a big role to play in that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, technology certainly, especially when you look in the developed world, is an enabler to growing more and therefore making more food available. Certainly there's another part of this challenge that we also work on through our Syngenta Foundation and through some of the lower developed countries, which is really about getting some of the basic fundamentals of agriculture in place such that people can begin a productivity curve, on that smaller shareholder farm.
Right. Do you think is education really the key there?
Well, with the smallholder, education is a big part of it. Now, some of it is, it's not that they don't know how, but you have to enable them to resource the front-end investment and to have the understanding that the return on that investment has a payback that will take them to a higher level of productivity as well as their own quality of life for their family. And sometimes they don't have the means or understanding to take that risk. So there's a lot more to it than just technology. In the developed world, we spend a lot of our time about helping growers understand how to put technology together to get a better return, more yield, more quality.
Yeah. What would you like to see happen in the next 5 years? Is there anything that stands out as like something you'd like to see really take off on this global food crisis?
Oh, I think there is. I would like to see much more collaboration. There's a lot of people here at this conference and around the world that care about this issue. And we're approaching it in similar ways, but sometimes in independent ways. And we are going to have to pool our knowledge, our resources, and the infrastructure and knowledge that we put in place. Because most of us have experiences, once you get 2 or 3 years into it, you can begin to multiply and see the benefits. And we're all doing startups in different places. And I'd like to see a lot more collaboration in the lower developed world. But I'd also like to see the U.S. engage in a way to support productivity with technology here, where it really is about increasing production on less land with less water, and that's about freedom to operate. And so you really have to deal with both of those sides of the coin, and that's what I like to see us feel confident about, because that's where new invention comes from, and that's where prosperity will come from in these smaller countries.
In those developing countries, is it worth the effort? I mean, it's going to take money, it's going to take time, it's going to take a lot of effort to get there. Is it worth it? Is there a payback?
Well, it has to be worth the effort. I mean, I've been to a few lower developed countries, not in recent years, but people are generally the same related to what motivates them. What we can't appreciate is the difference in something so small and taken for granted here can mean for their family. So when you experience that, whether it be in India, in a village that has hunger at poverty levels, or an area that's beginning to learn how to farm, on a small plot, it has to be worth it, because everything that we've seen is once they learn how to do it themselves, their economy and their livelihoods change. And we're looking for a step change in farm productivity, but also in quality of life. So it has to be worth it.
How do we make it sustainable? If we get there, how do we keep it going?
Well, sustainability is certainly a very big part of being successful, especially in these smallholder areas. And that's the importance of helping them gain the knowledge, giving them the supportive infrastructure to get started. And once they have know-how and confidence that they can succeed, they can sustain that themselves. And it's not just about feeding your own family a few years into this sort of approach. It's about creating some additional cash to help your family have things that they've never been able to afford to take that step change in quality of life. So I think there's certainly a lot around sustainability, which is about helping people have the know-how and the confidence and the ability to take the investment risk that's required to get a bigger return and a better quality of life.
Very good, very good. Anything else you'd like to add? I didn't ask you specifically about what Syngenta's doing, but I don't know if there's anything there you guys are working on.
Well, my role is primarily North America, so U.S. and Canada. So a lot of what we do is focus on developing technologies and understanding how to put combinations of technologies together on a grower's farm to get the most productivity from that acre. And we understand that we're not going to get more land here in the U.S., and we're going to be challenged with the availability of water. So a lot of our efforts are about how you get more out of a plant and do that in a sustainable and environmentally friendly way. And that contributes ultimately to available food, for those regions while they're learning how to be self-sustaining.
Do we still have room to grow here in the U.S.?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the encouraging thing is we have the ability to increase the yields even higher than where they are today, and we're the most productive region in most crops around the world. And we do need to continue to educate our policymakers about the importance of technology and the freedom to operate because we can already see the technology that will enable us to do it, but we have to support it, enable it to be utilized by our farmers.